He's the head coach, Notre Dame. He's Brian Kelly joining us, Dan Patrick Show. How was the summer, Coach?
Dan, it went by quickly. It always does when you're, doing all the things that I have to do here. But it's fun. Obviously coming off a really good year. A lot of people patting you on the back, so I can't say it was too bad.
But as far as trying to get out from underneath that bubble that is Notre Dame football, can you take you took your kids to Marion, Indiana?
Yes.
Why would you do that for a week or 4 or 5 days?
Well, because probably what I went through all summer, and that was, reliving, what happened in the past. Everybody talking about, what a great season, and certainly didn't finish in my estimation the way we wanted to. But I didn't want to talk about last year. I wanted to get our guys focused on what we needed to do this year. And quite frankly, when Notre Dame puts together a season like that, I think it provided inspiration for everybody else in the country. And if we did what we did last year, we were going to come up short this year. So I wanted them to focus on what they needed to do this year and not think about what happened last year.
Could you have won that game against Alabama?
I think the circumstances needed to be a little bit different. I think if we played in a playoff format maybe the next week after the USC game, I think that would have been a better situation for us. But look, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Alabama won the game. They were the better team that day. I think they were, in terms of preparation, that team was very well prepared. They had been in the moment before, and I'm not going to take anything away from their performance on that particular day.
Who will you miss more, Manti Te'o or Everett Golson?
That's a good question. I think, there's a little bit of each, but I always kind of go towards the leadership end of things, and Manti Te'o is one of the best leaders, best teammates that I've ever coached, and, you don't replace that kind of teammate.
I'm also thinking about Everett Golson and whatever happened academically, but he's re-enrolled?
No, he's not. He will not be able to re-enroll until January.
Okay, but the fact that he's coming back, I don't know the kid, but I don't know what it says about him, but it seems like he understands the mistake he made and to be able to go back when he probably could have gone elsewhere to play. Can you fill me in on some of the details here of exactly what's happening with him and his chances of playing again?
Well, I think we start with, in this business, as coaches and educators, we want our kids to take accountability and responsibility for what he did, and he made a mistake, and he's paying the consequences, and he's lived up to that. So I think for me, we move on from there. The next thing is, do you want to be part of Notre Dame and what it stands for? And he wants to be part of that. So now let's put a plan together. He's working out in Chicago. He's going to go to California and spend some time with George Whitfield, who's a prominent quarterback coach that is going to give him an opportunity to throw and stay sharp, and then he'll be back here in January. So we're going to welcome him back because he's taken responsibility for his actions, and I think he's going to be a better student, a better player because of it.
He's Brian Kelly, Notre Dame head coach. Their game is at the end of the month where they will be at home against Temple, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. You're an offensive-minded guy. With what you're seeing with the NFL, or what is the next evolution with offense with college football, if there's anything you glean from other colleges or the NFL?
Well, I think the quarterback being defended as a runner now, obviously, is something that everybody is grappling with. And, you're looking at it, sweeping the NFL right now. And the Tom Brady's and the Mannings are still out there, but the Kaepernicks and the RG3s are certainly making themselves known in the NFL. So I think that quarterback has always been in the college game, but I think you're starting to see that in the NFL game. So there's a bit of a transition going on right now there. So I think the biggest thing for us right now is, dealing with, how are we going to continue to call this game relative to contact? And, we're we're all kind of interested to see how this intent on contact is going to influence the college game. So the quarterback certainly being defended is one thing, but everybody is also, as coaches, we're all interested to see how contact is going to influence the game as well.
Also, the number of plays that you can squeeze off here. We're seeing this with the Patriots, the Eagles trying to do that, Denver's trying to do that. Chip Kelly did that at Oregon. Is that the next wave of being in great condition, trying to keep the defense off the field or get them tired out? Do you see that? Are you trying to do that?
Well, I think everybody has done it in some fashions. It's how much do you want to invest in playing that tempo of offense? Because you're limiting your substitution patterns as well. Obviously, you're going to have to keep your 11 guys on the field. So I think it works both ways, Dan. If you're definitely limiting, sub packages defensively and nickels and dimes, but you're also doing that from an offensive standpoint where you're starting to limit your personnel grouping. So conditioning is a factor in it. Depth is a factor. There's no question that depth plays a role in the NFL when it comes to playing at that tempo. And I think when it gets to midseason in the NFL and it's a grueling, long year, tempo starts to slow down a little bit because of the toll that it takes on you. So I think it's there, but I see it being used as more situational. New England, for example, used it situationally, third and short, and in the red zone, and I think you'll still continue to see that.
How close were you to taking the Eagles, John?
I don't know that I was even going to be offered the Eagles job. I was interested in learning more about the NFL because I had been everything for me is college my entire career, and it was an opportunity for me to learn a little bit more about the process because we're going to continue to win here, and I'm sure there's going to be other opportunities. And for me to turn down a job, I need to know more about it, and so it offered me more of an opportunity to learn about the college game, so I could confirm in my own mind that I wanted to be a college football coach. And I think that it was more intrigue than it was interest. And I have no idea what the feelings were on the other end, whether there was, that same kind of connection. But for me, I learned a lot more about the NFL.
Is coaching in the NFL on your wish list?
No, I don't think it is.
You could coach your entire career and not coach in the NFL?
Yeah, I don't think that I would feel like I had missed something or I would be unsatisfied in any way. If I got a chance to end my career at Notre Dame, I would not feel like I missed something.
You had one NFL source who's quoted as saying it's a 13-game job interview for you, according to league executives. Do you see that? How do you respond to that?
Like I said, I think I'll get a lot of that, and it comes with the territory of being, a winning football coach, whether it's, at Oklahoma or it's at, Ohio State or wherever you are.
It's a good problem to have, Brian.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Listen, all I'm saying is in response to the question, I think you get a lot of that across the board. Nick Saban deals with it every day, and I think the winning programs, are going to have that all the time. I just really have always focused on trying to do the best job I can where I'm at.
What comes first, Notre Dame in a conference or an 8-team playoff?
8-team playoff, easily. Matter of fact, I think we already have 8 teams. It's just nobody said that.
Yeah. Well, it's already there, right? We have 4, but it's going to eventually turn into 8.
Yeah, and listen, I don't have any firsthand information, but if you're asking me for my opinion, 8 is right around the corner.
But we see this with musical chairs with joining conference right here, Brian. There's no upside enough for you guys to join a conference football-wise?
Well, if you look at our NBC contract and where we sit with that and allowing us to keep some of the rivalries that we've had, the USCs and the Stanfords, the academies, and still be able to play a great schedule within the ACC? No, there isn't, because we get all of our other sports are now in the ACC, so it takes care of all those sports. They're in a great position, and we get to be able to have a great partner in NBC as well as play an incredible schedule across the board.
Who would be the team to beat in the ACC if you guys were there football-wise?
Well, I think the perennial teams right now, obviously Florida State has shown themselves year in and year out. Clemson obviously has done a great job, and I think from top to bottom, you're seeing the strength of the ACC come back, to where it had been in years past. I mean, Frank Beamer's always had his teams, prepared. I think Larry Fedora is going to do a great job at North Carolina. I think you could go down the list now. It's a fun conference to play in. There's great offense, exciting young coaches. It's good football.
Good to visit with you. Good luck against Temple. Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome, Dan. Thanks for having me on.
And Brian Kelly, Notre Dame head coach.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.